All right, we gotta make this entertaining for us and others. I don't know why you're bringing down the vibe, bud. Because we're talking about me being a fucking sabrecat writer, and you're asking about the fucking logistics of it instead of being like, oh, dude, that's fucking dope ass. Hello and welcome to the Answers of Lemon, the smartest icebreakers from the dumbest dudes. You want to kill that awkward silence in the Uber? Wow, your driver with the weirdest questions he has ever heard. And maybe you too will get 5 stars at the end of the ride. Guiding you through your trip, this metaphor's falling down. It's your God of Odd, Connor.
And I'm here to resurrect the metaphor because I could play some music for you if you like, or not. That's okay. What kind of music do you like? Is it too hot? Is it a little cold? I'm a little cold. Do you like the windows? I'm Connor.
And I'm your humble host, Evan. So the weirdest Uber ride I ever took was the first Uber ride I ever took, which was in Krakow, Poland at like 1 o'clock in the morning, where this strange but ended up being very nice man who spoke not a word of English drove my sister and I to the hostel in which we were staying, but we didn't know that at the time because he decided to veer completely off the course that was recommended to him by Google Maps while 80s club music was just blaring in the back seat. And I'm like, do I need to cover enough time so my sister can run away and make it alive? But no, he was a very nice
1 a.m. murder thoughts. Yep. Nice.
But instead, the very nice man dropped us off. We tipped him well and gave him 5 stars. I hope he's well to this day.
Yeah, obviously knew things better than Google Maps did. Sometimes GPS, not what you need it to be. Gotta trust the local expertise. That's important.
That's why Leah turns on the GPS and then holds it and goes, no, F, go ahead, keep going straight. It does know what it's talking about.
I also, when I'm getting an Uber ride, I also crack open the GPS just to know. I just want to make sure that we're all going to the same place. I want to make sure we all punched in the address doubles all correct, and then hold it in case of like that exact sudden departure that goes just a little bit too far beyond like, oh, that's just an alternate path. More like the opposite direction. What's the local emergency number?
I've taken several Ubers since then, and I've never once been like, I should double check my driver. I'm too trusting.
I mean, I gotta say, like, I don't know what they're gonna do. Like how far away can they drive you?
Till I notice very
before
very
you
far.
Like. I mean, you need to be like out in the cow fields before they could do something that they couldn't just do to you in a car on a street. But I like to know.
Hey, whatever.
Also, just good to know how long I got to be in that Uber. Also, set my awkward clock.
Oh, I just kind of I try to make some conversation. If the guy's not feeling it, I just zone out. But if the guy's feeling it, I tend to learn a lot of things. Usually very nice people.
Yeah. Drivers got stories.
Mostly,
or they don't, and they don't want to talk to you.
The ones who talk are mostly usually helping out family, which I don't know. It's nice. People are nice.
Yeah.
What else is nice, Connor? How have you been? Most important first question of the day.
Been getting by all right. Finishing up my one of the very final stages before I get my independent license as a psychologist. So that's nice. And yeah, for the very first time, probably in like literally my entire life, I've got so many options for what to do next. So many. So I got to navigate that, but it's exciting and
congratulations. I'm very glad to hear that things are moving forward in the ways that you would prefer, as opposed to slog through.
Yeah, yeah, it is nice. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I realized like if I take on contract work as an assessor, I don't know if I mentioned this, but like the mad thought seized me and I haven't been able to let it go. I could just decide I don't work the last week of every month.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool idea.
Right? Doesn't that feel pretty fun? That feels nice. Just like, no, I don't work those high 20s. I've never worked on a 31 a day in my life.
I mean,
That's
to
not
be
for
fair,
me.
I've never worked on my birthday in my life, and God willing, it'll stay that way.
There you go. Yeah. Set your own clock when you've got the privilege to
cool
do
jazz,
something
man.
like that.
I like that idea for you.
It sounds pretty nice.
I,
Yeah, yeah. And my brain is seething with 4-day work week dreams right now. We'll see what the job market does to me, but for right now, I am all aglow with optimism.
Make it work, Connor. Be the exception that proves the rule.
You know, the more people who make it, like there's actually a part of me that that doesn't want it to work because my partner, my wife, has wanted a reduced work week for a while, but she works for the government, and so there are like county-wide policies that decide who can work how much and when and in person or not. And so it's a lot harder for her than it is even for most people, and it's already pretty dang hard. And it feels like I'd be rubbing it in her face every day when she supported me throughout this entire process and made it possible for me to get this degree and this job, and then to be like, okay, and now I'll live my dream and yours. Fridays off.
Okay. I say this with very much love in my heart. Connor, you're a fucking idiot. Do not do that. That is a very sweet idea, but what's going to make your wife happier is not a miserable Connor. So if you have more free time to take care of shit around the house, to be a more self-actualized person, to not have to lean on her as much, I think that will be more beneficial in the long term than, oh, hon, I get a day off. Just don't remind her about it. Just don't remind her. Just be like, oh man, I was so busy today. And then don't tell her about the fucking 4-hour nap you took in between 10 and 2.
Yeah. Yep. In between doing the vacuuming and getting the dishes done for half an hour each.
Walking the dogs.
Just focus on the chores.
Starting your Etsy shop of whittling. Who knows?
You know, I should probably just start stealing the things she embroiders because she's not keeping really close track of them. And I can just sell those. You know, like very subtly put in some ideas of like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool is if you wrote "Happy Birthday, Jennifer" with a platypus in the middle. Wouldn't that be cool?
I think you need to broaden your horizons. Can you please embroider this specific family? And if at all preferably, by next Friday, please. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Making myself miserable. It's like she's not the kind of person who would be upset about me getting a day off every week. But she is the kind of person who would be happy for me to pitch in a little bit more around the house when I have that day off. So it really is more like a win-win.
I'm just a boy and I'm already your marriage counselor. Look at that. 10 more fucking years because of this boy. Marry her again a third time.
So that's what's up with me. That's what's up with me, aside from the big news. The big news that's happened in the United States recently that I don't think we really need to focus in on today. Don't think that's going to be helpful for anybody.
We're a different podcast.
Yeah. Suffice it to say, we're sad about the big news. And we hope everybody's doing okay.
Much love. Reach out if you need anything. I don't know what we'll be able to do, but we might be able to direct you to something. We give a shit. Try us. We give a shit.
Yeah. Lemonanswers. I mean, yeah, what the hell? Lemonanswers@gmail.com.
Fuck it.
Go for it. Let's see what happens.
We're just a couple of stupid white guys, but like, if we can, we'll help.
Maybe. Yeah. And what about you, Evan? What's going on with
bad this last week? It's been real bad.
Oh, good.
But that's not the thing that we want to do. We're gonna glaze over that. Like everything's groovy. It's just been a rough week. I don't want to talk about it. But what's been great is I got to see Joe over the weekend. We just happened to be in the neighborhood, and then he and his lady friend were like, "Hey, come have dinner with us." Or maybe we were like, do you want to come have dinner with us? And they're like, no, we're already having dinner. Come have dinner with us. Either way, we had dinner together, and it was just lovely. It's just nice to break bread.
Oh, nice.
Or in this case, rice and vegetables around a table with people that you love. So that's...
Yeah, for our pair of listeners, this is a mutual high school friend.
No.
Of both of ours. That Joe. Oh, different Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Oh, okay.
Not Joey.
Never mind. Just a mutual current friend. Oh, okay. Also nice.
So that was cool. That's a good time.
That
Otherwise,
cool.
Nothing really with video games. Nothing really with music. I haven't read since I was like 14, so I don't know a book.
I know a book.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
See, two listeners, this is how you don't engage in conversation. To appropriately engage in conversation, you go, what book was that, Connor? Was it shit? Oh, cool.
No, it's good. It's good. It's the Royal Assassin. It's part of a trilogy about a guy whose name is Fitz, which is why somebody gave me these books.
I was about to say, you freaking narcissist, why you chose to read it. I'm glad that someone got it for you, at least. If that someone is yourself, don't let me know.
Nope.
Let me believe that someone else got you a book. What a great way to get around stuff. Like, oh yeah, someone got this for me. Oh, who was it? Oh, it's me.
Yeah, but it's a great book. It's really good. I do recommend it. It's good fantasy stuff. It's not too heavy on the magic, but it's definitely in there.
How does it relate to Loch Lamora?
Ooh, kind of similarly.
Like heavy fantasy, light magic.
A lot of the same appeal, I'll say. More politics, less crime.
I thought you were going to say less cussing.
Yeah, but no. Yes, probably yes.
I would have to argue less crafty cussing.
Definitely. Politics in a good way. It's politics on a smaller scale. It's personal politics. It's good. It's not like huge nations in the way that like their trade routes have been sabotaged. Like there's a smattering of that. You don't need to keep track. Most of it is very personal, and it feels like directly relevant to our main character.
That's cool.
The Fitz.
I like that better than the Nobunaga's Ambition that I played with you and your dad for an afternoon.
Nobunaga's Ambition is fucking joke.
That is actual derailing shipments, and that game was a game.
Well, it was made for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and it did not come with instructions.
Oh yeah. You know what else didn't come with instructions? How to make good at segues. And how. Number 30. Let's talk about number 30. Oh. I know we're such a fucking nerd podcast because like every second episode, every third episode references Pokemon in some way, shape, or form. But Connor, of which Pokemon nickname are you most proud?
Oh, there have been a bunch of good ones. I don't think I've ever done better, and it's low hanging fruit, but I love it. I had a Miltank. I named a half pint.
That's so cute. I love that one.
Yeah, give it the old Lil John, because they're big, and it's a cow. Pint like
milk.
The way that you get milk, which comes from cows.
It's a cute. Yeah, no,
half
I like
pint.
that a lot. I think ever since you told me that, I do name a Miltank in honor of your really good nickname, Half Pint, to just keep it going in perpetuity between, I guess, at least the two of us. Send us pictures.
Thanks.
Send us pictures of Miltanks. lemonanswers@gmail.com.
lemonanswers@gmail.com. Miltanks. Send us your half pints. And I think in the version that I originally got Miltank, it didn't have enough characters for me to spell it all out, so I did have to go 1/2 space pint.
That's very good. That's very good.
First in the alphabetical order.
Did you,
first in our hearts.
Did you keep him in your party? Was it a heavy hitter? Nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Rollout is very solid.
Is it? I tend not to have luck with those like highly missing, increasing severity moves. Because it's also not.
No, I mean, there is that. Rollout. I recall coming in handy quite a lot.
Cool. I've never been.
What about you? I know you've got a long list of high quality Pokemon. I'm so proud of all
my Pokemon nicknames. I've been doing the nicknaming before the Nuzlocke made it happen. Just because, I don't know, I like my little guys. I feel like they all deserve nicknames. I know one that won't count because I'm pretty sure I brought it up on the podcast before, but every Makuhita Hariyama is Mickey Fitz. It is just enough characters, and there's something about that Pokemon that makes me think of your dad. I could not put a finger on it, but I'm just like, yeah, no, that's Mickey. It just is.
It's been a hot while, but he has thrown hands.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
But that one's really good. I mean, there like you said, low hanging fruit. I know I had a Murkrow that I named Nevermore.
But it's right. It's good.
Kind of stuff.
It is.
But
what's the top of the list?
Okay, I'm gonna cheat.
What makes your heart swell with pride?
There are two right now, and I think they both count because one's a ROM hack and one's not. And they're both shitty for different reasons. Funnily enough, so in college I played a lot of Pokemon like ROM hacks, like Pokemon like Rebirth and Snakewood and stuff. And I was getting back into it with my roommate Des, and we had to interact with this dude a lot that we just referred to as Weedly, because that was his name. He was a Weedly dude, and just something about he's just Weedly. I don't know how to explain it.
I'm having a hard time putting what I think Weedly means into words, but I do have a very strong idea of what you mean.
I feel like it's like a person who kind of like grimaces, and it's like like sleazy, but like not ill-meaning. I don't know. He's just Weedly. So for the entire freaking year, we called him Weedly, and then we were playing Pokemon, and I caught a Weedle, and I'm like, oh, I've got it. So I put his name down. It was exactly long enough. Man, Tom Des was rolling with laughter, and I'm not gonna say the guy's name because that'd be shitty otherwise. But the one that is not going to disparage human beings who I'm sure are great. Not here to be mean. But the happiest accident that I had was when I was playing with you when you were over at the house when I was playing Pokemon Fool's Gold, which, if you don't know, two listeners, is a dope ass Pokemon Color ROM hack of Gold, but it's the regular Kanto, Johto smattering of Pokemon, but all of the typings are messed up. You don't know what you're gonna get. You want a Bulbasaur? Well, guess what? Your little plant buddy is probably not a plant buddy anymore. Play it and find out. It's really worth it. It's very cool.
I remember. Yeah, no, I got all the way through Fool's Gold. It was a good time.
I'm in the post game. I think I just beat Green. I'm on some weird island.
I don't think I've never really loved the post game in Pokemon anyway, so I don't think I went that far. But what did you catch?
I'm a big fan because Gold was my first one. So what I caught was a Fanfy, and Fanfy was the graduate Pokemon. So it was a psychic typing. I think it was a psychic typing little elephant with the mortarboard cap on. So I named it after my partner Leah, who was going through her master's program at the time. And then I evolved it into Donphan. And we took this beautiful, cute, sweet little elephant with a cap on it and turned it into a brain pachyderm with a third eye.
Yeah,
It was
Grody.
just
Juicy.
a gnarly,
Soft.
squishy organ of a Pokemon named after the person that I supposedly love, but judging by my actions, I think she's got filing claims available.
It's admissible in court. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. No, I remember that brain thing. They don't animate the sprites, but I could still see it pulsing.
It went from hanging out in my party to stuffed in the PC box. Connor did do justice served and sent me a picture of Fanfi holding Everstone, so his Leah will never befall the horrible fate.
Safe.
Send us your Pokemon nicknames, please. I'm looking for the dice that I don't have, man. I'm bad at
Before
this.
we move on, I do want to share the nickname that I regret the most, the one of which I'm least proud. And that name is Bulbasaur. The nickname I gave my Bulbasaur when I accidentally opted into giving it a nickname. And then it evolved into an Ivysaur named Bulbasaur.
You know, I was thinking about that as a kid, of like doing competitive Pokemon, of like naming my Charizard Unknown or something. It's just like, Evan's about to throw Unknown. What do you choose? But then I didn't have friends, so I never got a chance to try that out.
Oh man. I'll tell you, I had a couple of Pokemon battles and I was always thoroughly trounced, which was very disappointing, because I didn't do the I didn't have the patience to go past level 76, and I had yellow version, and I was going up against somebody with blue, and he had grabbed the Squirtle, and so I was like, oh, perfect. This Blastoise,
going down.
Toast. I've got a very, very fast Pikachu, Thunderbolt, done. But when you get to a level 100, doesn't matter how big your shell is, you're faster. And you go first, and a Hydro Pump will knock out.
Dude, Hydro Pump was so gnarly in Pokemon Blue. That is how I shredded Elite Four.
And I hated that enough. I still have that distinct memory.
That's pretty
good.
I
was pissed. It's like lightning beats water. If it's an electric type, you lose. That's how it, but obviously
rules are rules.
It's in my head, it was rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
That's all it took. But it's more complicated than that, it turns out.
All right, moving on, because we could talk about Pokemon forever, but we do want to entertain. Number 27, weed names are dope. What would you call your new strain?
Okay, so I want weed that is actually extremely mild. I want to make the shandy version of weed.
I mean, one of the terpenes of cannabis is limonene, which is the lemon flavor. So you are already on your way there, my friend.
Okay, we're moving in the right direction. Okay. But this is one of the things that I think is most insidious about weed nowadays is how much conservative folks have overly demonized it to the point that you can't criticize weed or talk about it in any way without seeming like a narc. Right. But it is literally a fact that weed is actually quite a lot stronger than it used to be. It's like corn. You know, corn used to be like the size of a pen. And then we bred it to make it more corn-like. And now it's just bigger and better and more corn. And we've done the same thing with weed. Of course we did. Of course we wanted to be more powerful.
Our friend Shane works at a dispensary. And all the time, the dudes who, were smoking weed growing up always come into the place and are like, oh, I used to smoke so much in the 70s, whatever, blah. And Shane's like, it is bred to be more potent. Like, this is not what you used to smoke. And
yeah.
They always get messed up.
Yeah, when you talk about like Cheech and Chong smoking like a bushel or whatever, it was a bushel of very different stuff.
Now people are fucking firing dabs. Fucking oil under the tongue and shit. So, there's so many options. I like one because it's just called Shatter.
I just want to grow weed that is actually really very weak. And I'm gonna go with Betty Boop. I'm pretty sure she's entered the public domain, and I just want to make it clear: this is old-timey baby weed for children, and you can have some if you want just a baby time little bit, and it will be as expensive as the regular strength weed. And if you don't like that, don't buy it. But this is what you would if you want to smoke 1,000 whatever. Connor, this is your weed.
I love where you're going, but if I had your strain, I would call it gateway drug.
Oh, that's pretty good. It does feel like
it's the weed that gets you into weed. It's the gateway drug.
The weed that gets you into weed. The gateway to weed.
Because here's the thing, I've tried little bits of the new weed. It's too strong for me. I need a gateway drug, Connor. Give me your gateway drug.
Come gently through this gate. Let me open it for you. It's not like the regular door, which is revolving at 60 miles an hour, that just shunts you right inside as fast as possible. This is a gate you could just walk right through.
With a little Betty Boop.
With a little, here's Betty Boop to usher you into a mild high.
What a good time. I like that. I like your high. So I've been thinking about it. Yep.
I'm gonna go with, all right, hang on. In honor of our dual names, I'm gonna call it Gateway to Booptown.
Gateway to Booptown.
Gateway to Booptown.
Sounds like an aphrodisiac.
Listen, I don't mind leaving that connotation out there.
Gateway to Booptown. I love that. That makes me very happy. Oh, that's really good.
All right. And now I'm excited to hear from somebody who's actually smoked weed before.
So there's weed naming conventions are really fun. I know more about the naming because I had to write for a cannabis company before than actually indulging. But there's like OG Kush and Girl Scout cookies, Northern Lights. So there's all of these types, these types of names. So I want to go to the nth degree, and I want to name it like a JRPG final attack. So
nice. This is an excellent train of thought.
So I don't have one sticking out. Like the first one that comes to mind is Tifa's final attack from Final Fantasy VII, which was Seventh Heaven. It was the bar that she worked at. So like that one's pretty dope. M Bison in Street Fighter, his signature move is Psycho Crusher. So like we got a lot of like fun names in this. Like if you like sticking with the Final Fantasy references, if we want to go whole hog, we're gonna go with Ultima, but that feels a little bit too much. But Connor,
how about Giga? Does Giga get you a little closer?
We want to give the best experience to our compatriots. So as you level up, you want the ultimate cannabis. And as we've discussed before, the strongest mage in Final Fantasy is Donald the fucking Duck. And he cast Zettaflare. So I am going with Zettaflare as my weed strain.
Ooh. Zettaflare. That's great.
Yep.
That's really good. You get the fire connotation attached in there.
It tastes like roast duck.
Oh yeah. Gives you excellent munchies, just like the aroma of roast duck.
Cartoons at the time, because like let's be real, it's gonna be an indica. Indicas are the ones that make you sleepy and hungry. Sativas are the stimulants.
Gotcha.
So indica, just total. It sounds tough, but it's just a nice ride.
Excellent. Awesome. I was hoping, I didn't say it out loud, but I was hoping you would throw some kind of a Greek letter in there somewhere. I don't know if Zeta is actually in the Greek alphabet, but Theta is.
That's right.
And that's pretty close.
But yeah, no, I think
right.
I think nerd culture is an untapped market for cannabis names. But what's really fun is, so a lot of the ways that trees are grown is they're actually cloned. So some clones they'll like graft them together, and those strains are just the names of the two strains mushed together. So it's like OG Kush cookies would be like OG Kush and Girl Scout cookies put together, or like OG cookies or whatever. Just like I love the dumb naming convention. I think it's great. It is very like stoner culture, and it makes me happy.
Okay, and that makes our conjoined weed Zeta way to the Booptown.
I would go with gateway to Zettaflare.
Gateway to Zettaflare?
Zettaflare to Booptown?
I feel like that's not mashed up enough. Zettaflare to Booptown sounds good. Now I feel like now we're on a combo.
Yeah. That's a good time.
Yeah.
Do drugs, kids.
I like it.
We're failed members of like generationally. We're failed members of the Dare Club.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, prescribed medication and alcohol is really it for me. I've never tried cannabis, not once. Hey, just like they told me not to.
It's not a bad time sometimes. Like I've had one or two okay highs, but I've had 2 or 3 very not okay highs. So I'm like, I'm done. We're good.
Yeah, make your choices, folks. Nothing is safe. So you can't ride a bike without putting yourself at risk. And the same thing is true for weed. You pays your money, you takes your chances.
Or just do straight CBD, man. Don't worry about the psychoactive effects. Just get the other effects.
Whatever those effects might be. Science isn't in yet.
Either way.
We'll find out. If it helps you, it helps you. That's important.
Placebo effect is still in effect. We've talked about this.
No shame in that game.
All right, moving along. Number 65. I guess we're sticking with the JRPG theme, Connor. You are a unit in a tactical JRPG. What class have you enlisted as?
My knowledge of JRPGs is not as encyclopedic as yours. I think I'm going to throw this one back to you for a little while. See what you come up with. It might stimulate something in my
cool.
recesses.
Sabrecat Rider. I want to be.
That's a class,
dude.
Well, hey, all right, but you could tell me if I've got this right. The question is, what do you enlist as? I feel like that's a few branches down up the tree to get to.
No, I'm one of the rare party member options that optional quests that you got to do in the second third of the game to get me in your Fire Emblem party.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you've got to go out of your way to kill something harder than the final boss.
I like that you're trying. I like that you're trying to beat me in the genre that you don't play.
I thought that was right. Am I not picking up your drift?
Usually it's. No, you're not, because usually it's war themed, so that's why I did enlisted, because I just try to make these questions cute.
Okay.
Because it's what class have you enlisted as is more fun than, hey, what class would you be? All right, we got to make this entertaining for us and others. I don't know why you're bringing down the vibe, bud. Because we're talking about me being a fucking sabrecat writer, and you're asking about the fucking logistics of it instead of being like, oh, dude, that's fucking dope ass. What weapon are you going to use? What color is your sabrecat? Does he have a bandana on his neck? Of fucking course he does. You're missing the forest for the trees, Connor. Soak it all in.
Sorry, man. I didn't know. I should warn you next time we get into a conversation. My focus doesn't always go where it should.
This is why I got.
But I was coming back around to it because I do love riding a sabrecat.
Yeah, no, because like, you know, there's always the healer and there's always the swordsman or whatever, but like JRPG like tactic games, which honestly I haven't really played other than Disgaea, and that's a whole different can of worms. But you get all these fucking ridiculous classes. Like, why would I want to choose one of the basic ones when I can, you know, be flying on a wyvern or some shit? Like, yeah, I want a sabrecat rider because like I'm probably on the weaker side health wise in attack, but like I've got like crazy agility and like crazy range. So like I can move like 9 tiles to your 5 or whatever. So like I'm zipping in, like I'm good for like cavalry, like if you need help really fast, or if you know it's like a scouting mission, it's like boom, go. And then, you know, I get to take care of my little kitty friend, and I think that would be freaking sweet.
Not to mention the damage output on its own.
Like it would be it's probably along like the thief ninja class kind of thing, where it's like high agility, high crit, low a lot of other stuff.
High crit.
Yeah, like, as we've talked about, you know, once my cat's down, like dude, I've been riding a cat this whole time. I'm not that strong.
You know what I think is especially impressive about riding a sabrecat is like riding a horse is already pretty cool. Cavalry is already cool. But those horses have been bred for generations and generations. They're like corn at this point.
A lot of corn talk.
It's like corn. You know, like how corn used to be like the size of a ballpoint pen? Like corn, you know? But smaller. Horses are corn. And what's not like modern corn is a saber-toothed tiger. It's like the least domesticated animal I can think of.
In this war, we have domesticated them for an elite group of soldiers.
It's just you and your crew. It's a very, very small collection of folks.
How dope would that be?
Only you have the skill. Cool. It would be dope as hell.
Jousting,
it would be so dope.
Even better because there's teeth. Yeah,
big ones, big teeth.
I think my sabrecat is named Scamp.
Scamp the sabrecat. It does imply a certain mischief, very cat-like, which is good. But the scamper, quickness all over the place.
Yeah, it sounded like it was off the cuff, but no, there's thought put into this. Master of the craft.
Scamp the sabrecat.
All right, bud. What are you doing? What's your? Are you regular foot soldier? Oh, are you cook? Are you a cook?
I'm gonna go with maid.
Maid. Okay.
Maid. Yeah, maid. I'm gonna specialize in area and sort of like field control, like cleaning.
No, I actually like that. No, because like that actually like adds a fun depth to the level of like, oh man, there's a bunch of brush here that's ball necking. Not anymore. Connor's here, and
no, because I've got that expertise.
Also, can I make it a little fucked up? You're great at scavenging bodies. Yeah, so like,
of course,
you know, you'd normally have to like, you know, get reap spoils after, or like have a person like walk on the body or whatever to get the stuff. Again, you've got that area of effect thing, and you can, I don't know, like throw a potion same turn or something. You got utility.
Flasks of cleaning fluid. I'm right there with the quicklime. Get rid of the evidence. Nobody ever knows that guy died because now they're just a pile of goop.
Do you know that there would be some like crazy gamer who like does a stealth mission with your class? Just like, yep, all right, time to send in the maids. Like that is not like, it's not economical, but it's a challenge and it can work. Watch me.
Think about who does better with like that kind of secret keeping, that information seeking. All like the wealthy and the powerful and the people that they need to trust to clean up after them because they're not doing it. There's the maid sneaking in and out, getting that piece of paper, out of the fireplace.
I like that we've both chosen very squishy characters.
Oh yeah. No, not big on the damage output. Best I could do probably is leave an oil slick behind and run the fuck away.
You are not a white mage, but if you played Magic, you're a blue mage. That's the deck that just fucks with people. Which I think is Joe's favorite, by the way.
Good to know. And now I know him on a deeper, more personal level.
That's the point of this podcast, for us to get better. And you two listeners, you're just along for the ride, baby.
And also to make you afraid of maids.
But no, that's fun. I like your class. It's very silly. It fits. It feels like it would fit in the Disgaea world, honestly. So.
Yeah, I could just see somebody entering story-wise into things and just being like, hey, you should just be a nameless mook in this house, but you're so stately. You're just, wow, you've got, why is there so much mystique surrounding you when you're just bringing me tea? Oh, because you're extremely significant.
Oh, right. It's an anime game. That's right. Oh, man. Dude, you're going to get like the best fan art, though. Because you're going to be in like Butler Tales and shit. Like, even if they have you like on the battlefield with like, you know, like infantry packs or whatever, you're still gonna be looking suave as fuck. Like, I imagine you with like a rucksack and like, you know, plate armor on top of your suit, and you're still in the middle of the battlefield, like, you know, with like a little white glove holding in your white gloved hand, while your bare hand is like looking at a pocket watch on the battlefield.
Yeah, I stopped by the saber-tooth rider. Polish up the teeth.
Oh man,
little damage buff.
If I don't know, do 14-year-old girls still do fan art of JRPGs? Because if they do, you're getting so much DeviantArt stuff.
Yeah, you know, I think I do have an advantage on that, because saber-tooth tiger would be pretty hard to draw.
Mine would be like few and far between, but I feel like they'd be hyper stylized, and that's my shit anyway. So like, I'm here for it. I like these.
Now I imagine the person on the back of the saber-tooth tiger very feral, like mess of hair, to the point where you're wondering, like, who is the one making the decisions on the battlefield? Is it the person on the back, or are they just holding the cat treats that keep the saber-tooth tiger happy? How did this relationship come around? A lot of mystery, I think.
All I know is I'd have one of those like long mohawks, like those long anime mohawks that are like, they don't make sense as mohawks because they're just
nice
flowing. Yeah.
There you go. Very aerodynamic. You need that.
And of course, I'm sure my abs would be showing because I'd have abs. Anime.
Natural. I mean, if you can't hold on to a saber-tooth tiger, you fall off. You're gonna need all kinds of body strength,
crazy adductor muscles. I am the one man at the gym using that machine.
That's right. I mean, yeah, just thinking about how hard it is to, like, how fluid water bones cats have, and it's just that, but big and fast and even stronger.
It's so good. It's so good. I don't want to leave this question, but I think for the flow of this podcast, we should. And that will actually bring us to our last question of the night, surprisingly enough, because it's flown by for me. I feel like I do say that a lot, though. Maybe I just have fun with you. Fuck you.
That's just
how dare I like you? Also, that's a nice shirt. I meant to compliment you on that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
The flannel?
Sorry, it's an audio medium, guys.
Yeah,
it's a good shirt. Trust me.
I think of it as ketchup red.
Yeah. I honestly, it looks like those Fry Basket wax papers, but in flannel.
Yep.
Very cool.
But in flannel.
All right, final question of the night. What media from your formative years should someone experience to better understand you as a person? Shout out to Molly. They asked this question. They're dope.
Thank you, Molly, for sending in a question. I think it's got to be Invader Zim. I think that gets at a whole lot of me.
Dog, that was my knee-jerk answer too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Courage the Cowardly Dog, but it scared me too much for it to really explain me. there are things about it I really appreciate now, and lots of episodes that really stuck in my head in a great way. But it didn't define me the way that Invaders Zim did speak a little bit too much to a lot of my sense of humor.
I mean, like, it's a lot of our bonding in high school was over JTHM.
Yep. That really felt like a very adult transition from Invader Zim into and beyond adolescence, probably all at once.
Yeah, no, that's fitting. Like, because it's like, you like macabre, you like weird. You went and you celebrated the bones in Rome.
I love the bones in Rome.
I mentioned it to my sister, and she went, ah. And we were both formatively raised by Invader Zim. And we were both like, oh.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, I probably once a month. It just like it's a throwaway 30-second thing that has nothing to do with the story, but they're just at a fast food spot, and there's a guy with a plate of food in front of him, and he just keeps saying, "I want my slaw," and the guy behind the counter says, "You have your slaw, sir," and he says, "I want my slaw." "You have your slaw, sir." "I want my slaw." "You have your slaw, sir." And that's just like, it implies that they've been doing this for hours.
The weird reverberation they put on the man's voice with "space meat." The fact that there was a child named Pork Smacky in the Dark Harvest episode. Torque Smacky, Pork Smacky. Either way, those syllables aren't a person's name.
Dib chasing after Sasquatch Boy and like climbing up a cell phone tower, I think, after him, and he just screaming at the top, "Leave me alone. I'm just a normal kid, but I want to eat grubs." It's just so weird.
Miss
and
Bitters,
so good.
May I go to the nurse? I appear to have a pencil lodged in my brain.
How far?
Pretty far. Take the auxiliary hall pass, which was a radiator. It's just, it's lol so random Tumblr, but done correctly.
Darkly and violently, and yet still palatable for a child. You shouldn't be able to remove organs from children in an episode of a child's TV show, but they did it.
It wasn't even like being like emo or what. That was just my favorite episode, just because. I don't know why. It just was. That makes a lot of sense for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's me. Yep. That's very much me as a kid, with very little understanding that nobody felt exactly the same way.
So I think Invader Zim is unsurprisingly a very strong answer for me as well, with us aligning as well as we do.
Yep.
But to continue having conversation on this matter, I would probably say Dragon Ball Z. Because that was another one of like the first more mature shows that I had ever watched. Because like there was fighting and blood and death in the show. And like it was on...
Yeah. Like serious injuries.
Like early in the morning or late at night. And like because I remember like being little and I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm awake now. I guess I'm going to go see what's on TV. And at 11:30 at night, I turned on Cartoon Network and Dragon Ball Z was going on. And my mom goes, Ev, what the hell are you doing? I'm watching TV. Go to bed.
And you had to, like, back in the day when you couldn't get whatever episode you wanted whenever you wanted it, you had to put the pieces together. You were getting, like, pieces of that jigsaw puzzle at the end and in the middle and in the beginning, and you were trying to figure out how everything fit together the whole time. And Dragon Ball Z was not that clearly laid out.
But it was a lot of screaming and buff dudes. So, you know, as a kid, you're like, yeah! And as an adult, you're like, man, the writing in this isn't great. But yeah! So...
And what part of Dragon Ball Z, aside from the screaming and the buff dudes,
wanting
what spoke
magic
to you?
powers. Like I don't know. I always like the idea of being able to fight, and it's not in the like I want to beat someone up. I just like I want to be strong. I want to be strong and be able to hold myself in a fight if that ever like God forbid comes to pass. I know spiky hair was cool. Spiky hair was really cool.
Spiky hair was cool. And it became even spikier in different colors.
Which was really
sometimes.
cool. And I remember
cool.
I remember watching the first like the Super Saiyan transformation. Like Goku's all like bloody and all his clothes are ripped and shit, and it's like it looks like he's about to die, and then he transcends. Like that was just cool. And like it's still cool to this day. But don't watch Dragon Ball Z. Watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It's just better. It is just better Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z was very slow. Really slow.
No, but...
Yeah, you had to focus in and really care about those screaming buff dudes.
Do you know anything about Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
I don't. I'm just assuming, based off my understanding of the word abridged, that this is an alternate version of Dragon Ball Z that cuts out a lot of the space.
So what you are thinking of is Dragon Ball Z Kai. So Dragon Ball Z Kai is actual, like, syndicated Toei animation Dragon Ball Z, but cutting out the fluff. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is a parody done by people who fucking love and understand Dragon Ball Z. So they do all of the episodes in like the tropes, but it comes from a place of such love that like they have written the story better than the story of Dragon Ball Z. Like one of my favorite characters in media is Vegeta. And one of my favorite characters in media above Vegeta is Dragon Ball Z Abridged Vegeta. Because like they actually explore the idea of Vegeta being a dad and being an alien on Earth and like interacting with people. And the fact that like Gohan was neglected by Goku and how that fucks him up. But they don't do any of this like overtly. It's all done through jokes and subtleties. Like it's an incredibly well done, like it's an uproarious ride. The older episodes are, done in like 2016. So, there's like old timer jokes that aren't as cool in this day and age, but like gloss by that. And like the rest of it's just, you can see the love these people have for the source material that they poured into just diluting it to the best version of it that it could be.
And would you still recommend that for someone who hasn't already seen
Yes.
Dragon Ball Z?
Yes, without a doubt. You may not like it, but then I think that it just wouldn't be for you. But as far as like a show in and of itself, it's good. It's really good.
I do understand why you like Vegeta so much.
Connor,
because
for example, sorry to cut you off, but just to prove the point, Mike doesn't know much about Dragon Ball Z. Like we watched a couple episodes together in college. He's watched all of Abridged and loves it. So sorry to cut you off. Understanding me and Vegeta.
Yeah, but I think Vegeta. I was never that into Dragon Ball Z, but I did watch quite a bit of it, and I think Vegeta is the best. Like he fits best in that one note I'm just mad trope that a lot of anime can put like one character into. He's in my favorite extremely angry fellow, and I think he's done better than a lot of the other ones that I've seen. He manages to be angry all the time and very, very dramatic and self-important without being annoying. I take him really, really
is that
seriously.
Important, Connor. He's the Prince of all Saiyans. Come now.
And he makes you believe that.
He just is. It's not a belief system.
But it's not just that he's the Prince of all Saiyans, but like
yes,
the meaning behind it. He can communicate. It's not just like the whoever like the president of outer space islands. It's like it feels as important to you as it does to him.
He has that like fallen regality and giant ass chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. And he does the I'm in charge and I am going to do everything and I'm like, I've got people who do things for me but I will put myself on the line just as easily as I'll put anybody else.
And now take that. And remember that Dragon Ball Z Abridged Vegeta is even more actualized. He's so well written, dude. Like, oh, I want to talk at length about it, but I also don't want to ruin shit for you. So
all right, keep it under your hat. How do you know how a person would go and access Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
Team 4-star.
Tight.
I'll hit you in a link in the Discord. Hell, it might be in the show notes for this episode. Just if future Evan remembers when that happens. But where we are now is the end of the podcast. You didn't need to listen this far, but you did, and we appreciate it. If you want to honestly interact with us at all, fucking lemonanswers@gmail.com.
Write us an email. It would be really cool.
We'll answer. If I remember to check it, but we'll answer eventually. And if you want to see memes or talk to us in a different way because you're more technologically savvy than a couple of 30-year-old dummies, we're on all the social medias at The Answer is a Lemon. You haven't done your job repeating these things, Connor.
You haven't been gesturing to me. Usually I say it first, and then you ask for
That's true. I usually do go, Connor.
Me. You're the repeater. Yep, I remember because I did a really bad job the first several episodes.
I'm sorry that I've been up since 4 a.m. and it is whatever time you're listening to it, to listeners. Because if it's like 6 a.m., that means I've been up for 26 hours. That's how math works, man.
Yeah, not 2 hours.
I'm just awake, man.
Go up. Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.